Welcome back. All right, so qualifying offer deadline has come and gone. It looks like everything's out now of who's been qualified and who hasn't. So a lot of players who would have been restricted free agents are now unrestricted free agents. So tomorrow we could see some of them re-signing, but some of the players who weren't qualified today will end up signing with the team that did not give them a qualifying offer. So let's go through this. First off, we'll talk about a player who signed, Matthias Janmark. 1 year with the Oilers. The extension's worth $1 million. That's how you pay your depth guys. So Janmark, decent player, $1 million contract. No argument with that. Aiden Hill's contract has been finalized and announced by the Vegas Golden Knights. I don't know. Maybe they were just trying to figure out the financials and how much of it was going to be bonus money. But the cap hit, which is what we're worried about, 2 years, 4.9 million, as was the case and reported what, a week ago. It feels like that they were talking about Hill's extension. So we'll see how Hill does. You got to think he'll be the starter for the Vegas Golden Knights next year. It is a 2 year, two-way extension for Noah Juleson with the Vancouver Canucks. It is likely he'll play most of that in Abbotsford. Of course, he's from Abbotsford. It makes total sense to keep him. But no qualifying offers to Ethan Bear, Travis Dermott, who missed the entire season with a head injury. And Kravtsov was qualified. So they qualify Kravtsov even though he signs in the KHL, so they retain his rights. It's the only reason they gave a qualifying offer to Kravtsov. So for Vancouver, not a whole lot else going on. It may be a surprise to some that Bear's going to market, but the qualifying offer was just, it was high. Vancouver's still up against the cap, even with the OEL buyout, and so you only have a certain amount of money to go around. It is a 1 year extension. The St. Louis Blues signed with Tyler Tucker. It is worth $800,000 a season. Amongst their not qualified players, Logan Brown. Logan Brown's going to the unrestricted free agent market tomorrow. So we'll see how that turns out. Kevin Weeks is reporting that Jonathan Quick is likely bound for the Rangers tomorrow. So that's going to look weird if Jonathan Quick's the backup in New York. There was no qualifying offer for Hayek. I feel like I should have a moment of silence for Ranger fans that Hayek is no longer in the organization, but there we are. And it'll be interesting to see with Jonathan Quick if he is the backup in New York. How many games does he get? How much money does he get? Question marks out there, but apparently his favorite team growing up was the Rangers, so maybe he gives them a really, team-friendly deal. No qualifying offer for Paling. There were others that the Penguins didn't qualify, but Paling is the highest profile of those that were not given a qualifying offer. He is young enough. Somebody will sign him. He will get a contract somewhere. No qualifying offer for Comtois or Benoit for the Anaheim Ducks. We knew Comtois wasn't getting a qualifying offer earlier this week. Benoit, mild surprise with Benoit, but again, with some of these players, they may end up re-signing with the team. The qualifying offer is just higher than what the team wants to pay. It's very often what happens with the qualifying offers. Qualifying offers not extended to Caleb Jones or Anders Bjork. So Caleb Jones hits the market. We'll see if there's interest with him. He did not have a great year with Chicago. This is where people answer with, well, who did? Nobody had a good year in Chicago. What's THG talking about? So yeah, Jones hits the market. Anders Bjork, who's been through a few organizations now, we'll see if he finds an NHL team, if he ends up playing in Europe. No qualifying offer for Denis Gurianov with the Montreal Canadiens. So it's interesting. Dadonov staying in Dallas. Gurianov apparently not coming to any kind of an agreement with Montreal. I would not be surprised, though, to see Montreal circle back and sign him to a cheaper deal than what the qualifying offer would have been. No qualifying offers for Asplund, Foote, or Radcliffe. I'm a little bit surprised by Foote. That came out earlier in the week, too, that Cal Foote would not be qualified by the Nashville Predators. But, a new GM, Barry Trotz, deciding to just change things up. And, part of that is buying out Duchesne, trading away Johansson, and qualifying offers not being extended to players that we might expect qualifying offers to be extended to. The Arizona Coyotes have not extended Christian Fischer via a qualifying offer. He had arbitration rights, so by not qualifying him, he becomes an unrestricted free agent, and then they don't have to worry about going through arbitration. But they still want to keep the player, so they want to keep Fischer. But as of tomorrow, any team can make that phone call, and he could go wherever he'd like. No qualifying offer for Stenlund from the Winnipeg Jets. Depth forward only, of course, but I would not be surprised to see him get a league minimum contract somewhere for next season. No qualifying offers from the Minnesota Wild for Sam Steele or Mason Shaw. I'm mildly surprised by Shaw. I think he'll find a home somewhere. As for Steele, this is 2 years in a row that he had a home and nobody qualified him in Anaheim, and now they're not qualifying him in Minnesota. We'll see how many more chances he has. The LA Kings, no qualifying offer for Anderson Dolan. Mild surprise there, but Anderson Dolan hasn't become that everyday player that I think they would have envisioned by now. So it's one less Anderson for me to worry about, and I don't think Elias Anderson's in the organization at this point. Is he still there? Anyways, yeah, the LA Kings, a team that was just, basically adding as many Andersons as possible. Who knows? Maybe Freddie Anderson signs there tomorrow. But yeah, the Kings, no Anderson Dolan sticking around there. San Jose, no qualifying offer for Blackwood, but they'd like to keep Mackenzie Blackwood. They just didn't like the amount that the qualifying offer was. He would have accepted that in a heartbeat. The team does want to keep him around. However, Gadjevich and Evgeny Svechnikov among those who were not qualified. So they are headed to the UFA market. Does Svechnikov end up in Carolina with his brother? We'll see. For Gadjevich, there will be some interest in Gadjevich because he can drop the gloves. He can play fourth line for you. There will probably be some Canuck fans who'd like to see him back in the Vancouver organization. But San Jose shaking things up a little bit, and again, they'd like to keep Blackwood. No qualifying offers for the Devils when it comes to McLeod, Bastian, and Boquist. Mildly surprised by these, at least somewhat. But for Bastian, fourth liner, Boquist, he's a fourth liner, McLeod, fourth liner. Might have some third line upside, but it does feel like fourth line's probably where he's going to end up, wherever he ends up. And so for New Jersey, it's going to be a change of the guard when it comes to some of that bottom six. No qualifying offers for the Sabres with Tyson Jost or Cale Clegg. Not really a huge surprise there. So again, they will become UFAs tomorrow. Seattle raising a few eyebrows with Sprong not being qualified, although he wasn't last year either. And Morgan Geekie, no qualifying offer for him. His qualifying offer would have been $1.4 million. I'm guessing that they're looking at that fourth line position and saying, we could probably spend that money elsewhere. So we'll see what happens. Maybe Geekie returns to Carolina, right? Maybe I'm just giving Carolina forwards. There you go. So tomorrow we'll see where any of these guys end up, or at least through the next couple of weeks, we'll see where some of these players end up. Don't be surprised when some of the names that I've just rattled off on this board of madness end up getting tryouts in September and fighting for a job next season. So NHL development camps are getting started over the next week. Some of them are starting tomorrow, some of them starting Sunday. For the Canadian teams, of course, tomorrow is Canada Day. They're not going to start the development camps then. So over the next week, we're going to see the development camps going, as the NHL is really 12 months now. It's not the same, obviously, over the summer, but there's still a lot that goes on during the summer. Starting with development camps, you have your rookie events as well, your young guns tournaments. Then you have your training camp in September. It doesn't take that long to get there. But yeah, and then with the PHF, so an update on the news last night regarding there just being one women's league rather than the two that we've had, or at least one league and one tour that's been going on for years. The salaries are going to be between $35,000 and roughly $80,000. They might be a little bit higher than $80,000. Some of the contracts that were being signed by the PHF before this sale were as high as $150,000. And clearly that didn't work. Those financial numbers did not work. So there's going to be benefits included as well, including maternity leave and paternity leave, which is pretty important. So we'll see how it all turns out. The CBA will be ratified over the coming days by the PHF. And again, they'll start play in January of next year. And there's still a lot of debate about whether this is a great thing for women's hockey or not. But it's done. So whether it is or it isn't, it is done. And we will find out over the next, I'll say 12 months, whether it helps to increase the visibility of women's hockey or if it does the opposite. But let me know your thoughts in the comments section below, as always, regarding qualifying offers and who didn't get one. Because again, if you don't get one, you're then unrestricted. You can sign anywhere you'd like. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.